Hi, welcome back. My name is Gabriel Jimenez with Gateway Wholesale Homes, and this is Module 14. In today's module, I'm going to show you how to qualify and comp a lead out of the Instant Leads tool. Up to this point, you probably don't have much experience at all working with the Instant Leads tool. You've probably seen it in here if you've played around with some of the tabs, but I'm going to show you today a new function, a new tool, and this is going to um, give you some insight of how I actually comp a property out and how I qualify it. You're also going to be after you determine whether it's qualified and you've comped it out. To determine that, you're going to be putting them into my particular lead folder that I'm going to point out to you here in the system. So let's get started. So here is the home screen. If you were to start in the home screen, you'd simply go to the tab right next to it. And up here, you'll see it says Instant Leads. You just want to click on that. Once the Instant Lead system opens, takes a couple seconds usually. Okay, here it goes. Now, this instant leads tool is going to show you a few things. It's going to show you generally how many, when you open it up, it always defaults in Florida. I guess this is maybe where the developers of the software are located. But you're going to do your search over here in the search area, and you're going to always click Advanced Search. I'm going to show you how all these sections work and how you need to have your default set up. So let's start out by going over here, and you're going to start out with Pennsylvania. Now, you're going to be flipping through Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, possibly New York for starters. I will generally tell you which state I want you to start in or what state and county I want you to work your leads in. But you're going to start by clicking Pennsylvania. You're going to, go down to county, and I will also let you know what county that we're going to be working in. But for starters, I'm going to give you a list. I'm going to send it to your email. But typically, we want to focus in Montgomery, Delaware, Bucks, Philadelphia, Chester um, counties. There's a few others as well, but I'll send you a list for Pennsylvania. So I'm going to start out with Philadelphia. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start out with Montgomery County. Let's go find Montgomery County. Montgomery County has more single family homes. It's considered the suburbs. Philadelphia is more inner city. We do like Philadelphia is also, but we're going to start with Montgomery County. So you want to choose the county. Over here are the keywords. There's always going to be two keywords I want you to search. The one keyword is going to be TLC, like Tango, Larry, Charlie. The other keyword is going to be as is. And I'm going to show you. Unfortunately, you can't group the keywords separated by commas how you see them here and expect a result to come back in many counties. So I've played with the system a lot and found that you can do this effectively. You just have to put one keyword in at a time and do your search that way. So I'm going to start out by writing TLC. The property type, if your system is not already set up, you want to make sure you're choosing townhouse, single family, duplex, triplex, quadplex, multifamily. So you just want to choose those six. You don't want to choose auction, apartment, condominium, manufactured homes, rentals, commercial, or vacant land. We generally do not work with those. We can, but we generally don't. After the six have been selected, the status, you're going to go and choose active and pending. Okay, this means any listing that's currently listed for sale or is currently pending, meaning someone may have made an offer, but it hasn't closed yet. We want to see those as well. Also, you're going to just sort the results by date listed newest first. That should be the one selected there. Minimum price, you're going to go down to 20,000 and you're going to go maximum. For this case, we're going to do 250,000. Here's where you want to stick your price range with at the moment. We're doing a project right now with a private buyer, and this is the price range he likes to stick around. Bedrooms and bathrooms and square footage, you can leave all those open and out. Then you're gonna just simply click search. You can see here that now it's searching. It's starting to pull up properties. The total count of the property is going to be down here where it says showing. This number will change. You'll watch it change here. In fact, while I'm doing this video, it will, well, maybe not. Okay, so we only had 20 properties. Now I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to switch this keyword now to as is. I'm going to select that and I'm going to press search again. Now remember, the keyword TLC came back with 20 results. The keyword as is will come back with a different amount. So far we're at 31. Let's see if that's it. Still doing its little thing. That probably will be the maximum amount right here, I'm guessing. Okay, that was the maximum amount. It was 31. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to use those keywords. You can also try a third keyword. That would be handyman, or try a keyword that says fixer upper. And you just want to make sure you're hitting all of the same keywords that show it's an investment property that I've showed you up until now. You want to work those in here individually per county. Every time you use a new keyword, you should get a new group of listings here. So here's what I need you to do. I'm going to have you qualifying this each lead and running comps on it. Comp stands for comparable. That is a method that we use that shows us what a property is worth by comparing it to other properties that have already sold. How we do it is this. The reason why I picked as is, because generally we're going to be getting the properties that are investor oriented. If you took this keyword as is out and you just left it blank, you probably would get somewhere around 1,800 or 1,500 properties in here. Most of those would already been rehabbed, renovated, and there's a lot more properties to go through, but you're going to be weeding through properties that would not apply to the type of purchasing that we actually do. So what we're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to click the full view full details tab right here. In each one, you're going to go down the list the same way. When you click the tab, it'll say loading up here, and then the lead will open. Now, there's a couple of things that I always want you to do. I want you to scroll down and see if there's pictures. Usually there are. I want you to click on the picture and take a look at the property. Okay, what you're doing is you're noticing the type of property it is. That this is a level, 1-story, 2-story, 3-story. This is probably an attic up here. It's a narrow house. You can see that it looks like it's separated. It's single. It's not attached to the. It might be attached. I can't really tell if there's an alleyway between here or if it's just that this house protrudes against it. So we're gonna take a walk here in a second, but let's look through the pictures. Okay, so you have a nice street. It's clean. It doesn't seem to be a lot of trash. There's no board ups on the block from what we can tell. Here's the inside. Looks pretty clean. Nothing special. It needs some updating. It doesn't appear to be in really bad damage. There's not, well, here's some roof damage, ceiling damage up here. These are just things you want to take notice to. The windows look like they need to be replaced. It needs fresh paint. The flooring would need to be repaired. Again, here's a hole in the roof up here. That generally indicates that there was leaking in the upstairs or in the roof. Generally, this would mean that a roof would need to be replaced or plumbing needs to be replaced. So these are just things that you're taking note of. Drop ceiling. Whenever you see tiled drop ceiling like this up on the ceiling here, people generally put that in to cover something so they don't have to fix the ceiling. So there may be issues under there like leaking or water damage or something. That would have to be addressed. And beside, homeowners generally do not like this. We would take that out and do new drywall. It has a backyard with a shed. And it looks like it is actually attached on one side and not attached on the other side. Looks like there's an oil tank back here. And we're back at the front of the pictures again. So I always want you to look down here, look at the pictures, and then I want you to scroll up and you're going to look at the street view. So step number 1 would be view the photos. Step number 2 is view the street view if there's a street view available. If there isn't one available, you can just bypass this step. Or actually, there's another way that I'll show you in a second. You want to do street view. Click on that. It will generally open up this. Now here you can actually walk this street. You can turn by dragging the mouse. You can look across the street. Okay, there's an empty field. The neighborhood seems to be pretty clean, pretty quiet. Then you can just simply click down the street and turn. You can see that all the houses here are pretty much the same. Does not seem to be any board ups or any neighborhood issues. Then you can walk around wherever you want here. Typically, if you wanted to go back to where you started, you'll notice that if we walk here, there's a red indicator that shows where our property is. Generally, this will always be shown. It's from Google Maps. It maps exactly where our property is. You can take a look at it. We can walk in front of the property. And again, that's it right here. Okay, so you want to make sure it's the same property. You want to get a feel for the type of neighborhood to make sure it's not a war zone or there's not a lot of boarded up properties or a lot of abandoned cars and trash on the street and people just hanging out. You want to get a feel, is it a family neighborhood or not? If the street view was not available, you can always click on this Zestimate tab. I'll show you what happens. The Zestimate tab simply opens up Zillow. Now, actually, this is not a bad idea to hit that anyway as step number 3. If you couldn't do the street view as step 2, then you would do the Zestimate. But the next one is you want to hit the Zestimate. The reason why I like to look here is because it's going to show roughly what an estimate of value is. Sometimes this number is not here. If it is not here, simply don't worry about it. We're going to be pulling comps anyway. But this gives you a good idea for what the Zestimate is. A Zillow value. That's why it says Zestimate instead of estimate. There's a Z in front of it because this website Zillow, that's what they call it. It's their little copyrighted word, I guess. You can take a look at the pictures to make sure they're the same ones you already saw. Then you just simply want to view it here. It's going to say 3-bedroom, 1-bath. There's the square footage here. It tells you a little bit about the property. Over here, down here under facts, it will show you how many days this has been on the market. And again, you don't really need any of this information right now. It's just that I like to show it to you because this is all of the steps that I take when comping a property out and qualifying this as a property. Now, this right here, if the property value is available, this is going to be a huge thing, huge something that stands out. You notice that the foreclosure estimate or the Zestimate is 89,000 and the sales price is 20,000. There's a huge gap here. That's a good thing usually. That means that there's a lot of equity in this deal. If we bought it for 20,000, we'd have money in this deal to purchase it and cover closing costs. We'd have money in it to do the fix up on it, and then once we sell it, there's $70,000 difference here that we could sell it and make a profit after we, use the equity in it to fix it up. So then after you viewed all this, you can go back to instant leads in your FreedomSoft system. Now, you always want to read the description. Investment property needing some improvements, but should be easy to rent. There's a good description in here. Again, it picked up our keyword as is. It picked it up right here. The utilities are off. Property condition report is available on HUD. So basically, we know this is an REO property. The HUD site is one of the REO sites that I get my HUD properties from. REO stands for real estate owned. That means that the bank took it back. The person that lived there could not pay the mortgage, and the bank foreclosed on it and took the property back. Now the bank owns it again. So that's what a REO is. HUD just happens to be a bank, Housing and Urban Development, that is a government-owned institution that owns this bank-owned property. So HUD has good properties. I like to buy properties from there, but we will get them from anywhere. This just happens to be a HUD deal. So next, what we're going to do after you've done after you've looked at the pictures, after you've looked at the street view and the Zestimate, and you read the description, now you're going to go and hit this tab right here. You're going to look at the comparables. This is where we're going to actually make our comparison of value. So you hit comparables. It's going to open up a tab next to it, next to the instant leads tab. Notice that if you go to the tab to the left, there's your instant leads. The tab to the right should be your comps, your comping tool. Notice it starts out with a map up here. All these houses are in green. Once you select them and you choose the house that we're going to compare it to, it will switch a house up here to blue. So let me show you how all this works. So you're going to be looking at this map. You're also going to be looking at this offer chart. and you're going to be looking at this estimate area right here, as well as nearby properties. And I'm going to show you how all this works. This is actually quite easy. If you notice, once you hit the comps tab or comparables tab, the address is imported, and so is the amount of bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage. Square footage is just the size of the property. These factors here are really the most important things you need to take into account when comparing a property. I generally would start out by sorting the nearby properties down here. All of these nearby properties are only properties that have sold. These are not properties that have not sold yet. They're ones that already sold. If you can see here, there's a sold date, tells when the property sold. It shows how far away the property was. And all of these properties here are the ones in here on green, in green. So what I like to do is I like to sort by bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage as much as possible. This is going to be a balancing act, and you're going to see what I mean in a second, because you're not going to ever be able to get something that's exactly right, exactly the same, criteria. So if you click on any of these arrows next to the words, it will sort in descending or ascending order. I'm going to start by clicking bedrooms. So now we know we have a 3-bedroom, 1 bath at 1,036 square feet. So I'm going to be looking for 3 bedrooms, 1 baths at around 1,036 square feet. Now, when I say around, the property can be smaller than this, but no more smaller than about 200 square feet. 200 square feet is the magic number. You don't really want it to be smaller, much smaller than that, unless the property value is higher than what we have for our own. And I'll see if I can find an example of what I mean. You also don't want the square footage to be a lot larger than this, maybe no more than 200, maybe 300 square feet. You want to keep it around the amount of same bedrooms, but let's say that what you're finding is a 4-bedroom with 1 bath where the square footage is close to where our square footage is, like this one. Okay, so you could probably choose this because the square footage is not much bigger. It's barely 100 square feet bigger, and this may be a comp. But generally, what I like to do is sorted for bedrooms, you want to look for the amount of bedrooms and keep the square footage in mind. You want to look for the highest priced ones first. This gives us an idea for what the top value is in the area. So what I would go for is, let's look through the 3 bedrooms in this section to this section, and you want to look for the highest priced ones. Well, here's one. You want to make sure that the square footage is 1,470. That's a little bit bigger. That's almost a third of the size, so I might want to stay out of that one. Look at this next one, 110,000. That's 1,092 square footage on a 3-bedroom. You do want to select that because that's close. That's a close um, value. Now, if you look up here, when I selected this check mark, it brought it up to your comps instead of nearby properties. It separates them, and it also placed a blue property in place of the green. So if you want to see that better, you could always click on the plus and zoom in a little bit. Here's the property. If you clicked on it, you'd see that it says 540 Belmont Street. That's also the one we just selected, 540 Belmont Street. You could always hit Street View and make sure that the neighborhood, if you ever get a split screen like this, by the way, just turn it in one direction until it stops. But what you're doing here is you're determining, are they the same type of houses? It's a small Cape Cod or colonial type house. They're single homes. These are not exactly the same type, but they're close, and that's really what we're interested in looking at. So when you go back, you just click this back arrow right here. That's how you get out of this section back to the map, like here. And then you can close this out by pressing an X right there. Okay, so let's bring this back down, make it a little smaller. So we found one comp. It looks like we're going to be at around 110. Let's go back and look for the 3 bedrooms. You want to look for a similar square footage, 1 bathroom. This is 1,400 square feet. That one's too big. This one is 1,800 square feet, is definitely too big. These are a little big. This one right here, now this is interesting. We have one that's 992 square feet, which is smaller. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, so it has one more bathroom, but that's not a problem. And it's for 124,000, so we can click that one. It's on 466 Clearview Street. Brought it right up here. We can see that it also is highlighted in blue, so it's right near the other house that we just looked at. See, you don't have to look at the street view for all of them, but you can. Okay, this gives you an idea. These houses again are a little bit different than the one that we've got. The value might be a little bit higher, who knows? But we're going to try to now find properties that maybe are a little bit closer. This is 3/4 of a mile away. Okay, let's see. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Here's one. Let's see where this one. That's zero point 0.8 miles away. That's even going to be further. Let me do something now that we have two that are 3/4 of a mile away. Let's solve for distance. We can click the distance button and see what some of the properties are that are closer. And we can see if out of the ones that are closer, see now we've got 0.13 miles. See are any of them within the square footage, bedroom and bathrooms. So here's one that's about a half a mile away. 0.6 miles. It's a 3 bedroom, 1 bath. Let's click that one and see how it affects our deal. So what you'll notice is we've got 3 comps now. Up here in the estimate, it's been averaging these. As you add on, see, let's just add this North Charlotte and watch this change right here. I'll show you something. See how it changed it to 102? I'm going to uncheck it and take it away. This is how you remove one. So now it's at 112. So it's going to take an average of based on the 3 of what the top value should be. So it should show it's showing us here that the average price that these houses are selling for in the area that are similar in square footage, 1,034, ours was 1,036, that it's selling for about 112,000. Now this is what you really want to see. You want to know what the value is. Now if you recall, here's where you're going to use this offer chart. If you recall now, if you simply come up to the tab, the other tab in FreedomSoft, back into your instant leads on the left, they're selling this house for 20,240. Let's go back to the comparisons again. The house after fixed up would be 112,000. The rule of thumb is this. If the sales price is anywhere underneath or between 70% and below, meaning you see this 70%. In other words, if the sales price were anywhere below 78,000 and down to 30% or below, which is even off this chart, that would be a good lead that you would want to put into my, that you would want to save the lead and move it over into my bin, my leads folder. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We've determined again that this sales price, see the price here, 20,240, that's this price in green, that's this price right here, is below 20% of what it would be after this place was fixed up. Now this is just a very clear example because the sales price is so low. Okay, so this one is going to be a good lead. What I need you to do is this. You can actually close this comp out, or you can just move back over here. If you close it out, this won't confuse you, or you won't have so many tabs open that you don't know what's going on. You do not want to save this as a property, because if you save it as a property, it actually is going to go into the properties and not my leads. So instead of saving it here, that's why I suggest you can close this out. You want to go right back over into FreedomSoft, and you want to save the lead. So I'm going to press this tab right here, Save Lead, in the big blue. Now, what you've done, you can see it says it's saving. What you've done here is you've qualified the lead by comping it out, and you've made sure that this would be a potential lead that would have some equity in there based on the fact that it is an as-is condition. It needs a little bit of work. Now, let me show you everything that's just happened now that you've saved this lead. So, let me show you how to get out of here first. So now you've saved the lead. You've gone back here, you're going to go back to your list. The list button is going to be this button right up here next to the map button. You've saved it, you've watched it save, you hit the list button. That's how you go back. Now you're simply going to go on to, if you see here, it says saved. So you know you've worked on this one. Now you're simply going to go on the next one down right under it. Saved instead of save lead. So this one you have not saved it yet, so it's still asking you, do you want to save the lead? Of course you don't know. You're going to go in and do the same process over. You're going to go into view full details. You're going to wait for the lead to open. You're going to see that it says it's listed for 85,000. You're going to do step 1. See if there's any pictures. Open the pictures. I'm just going to repeat this process You're going to go through the pictures. You can see that this house, pictures were taken when someone was still living here. That's fine. The house is in livable shape. It needs a little updating. It's a little older. And generally, we like to update these to 2016. We would be changing the color so that it's more neutral. We'd be putting molding around the doorways so that it looks fancier. It's more of a visual appeal. We'd be making this bathroom more updated and making the tile color something that's more that is a broader taste. The tub looks fine. Again, these dark colors don't appeal to everyone. We'd be probably taking the carpet out. But these baseboards look good down here. Again, the house just needs a little updating, not that big of a deal. Overall, it looks pretty decent. I don't see any signs of anything really that would stand out. This type of ceiling, we generally would take this out. This is called a popcorn ceiling, and generally people do not like this because it generally people put this up when there was water damage or staining problems. They put this up to cover it, so we would have this removed. And again, take the carpets out. It looks like there might be, no, there's tile and a carpet in there. Again, this looks pretty fine overall. And there's the front of the house again. You're going to go up here now, step 2, and you're going to hit Street View. Now, incidentally, if when you go to Street View, if this doesn't open right away, there's a little man over here, a little yellow man in this section. It kind of goes away quickly, but if you simply click on that yellow man and drag him over and let him go right on top of the red location finder dot, it will open up this street view. That's how you can open it up if it does not automatically open for you. So here's the house again. You can walk the street, make sure that it's a clean street. There's not a lot of board ups. This looks like a good family oriented neighborhood. You can walk around a little bit and see what's going on around there. You can go back to this view. Here's again how you would get this street view up. You simply take this man, yellow man, and you drag him and let him go. And you'd look around for your red marker. Here we go. That's the property. You can simply go back again with this arrow, or you can close it out. You want to click Zestimate as step 3. Okay, you can see here again, you're going to check to see again, it's for sale for $85,000. According to the Zestimate, it says it's worth $129,000, but estimates are usually pretty low. So we just like to get a feel for, is there equity in this deal initially? It's a 5-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,800 square feet. It's been on the Zillow for 8 days. That means it's been listed for sale for about 8 days. You want to now go back to instant leads. You want to read the description, which would be step 4. 3-story home in search of a new owner and needs some TLC. And again, this lead would have pulled up if you did the keyword for TLC also. So this would be a duplicate lead. What you'll notice also, you may have duplicates when you're running repeat or crossover keywords. If that's the case, you simply do not want to pull it in, or you want to delete a duplicate the same way you always have been doing. Also, it pulled it in though because you can see the keyword down here as is. That's where we pulled it in from. So that would be step 4. Step 5 is you're going to run the comparables. So let's just click the comparables tab. Again, you can see that the address was imported in. The bedrooms, bathrooms, and square feet have been pulled in. The surrounding properties that are down here have been put on the map as well. And again, you're going to select these, which will show you the selection by changing these to blue. If you ever don't see it, just zoom in a little bit. It will give you a closer look, and you can just drag it around like this. You're going to now sort for the amount of bedrooms. Doesn't look like there's any 5-bedroom, 2-baths that have sold. So we're going to go for square footage. This is 1,834 square feet. I'm going to bring the biggest ones up to the top. Looks like there have not been a lot of larger properties. Here's one down here. If it does not sort them in order, you always can go down through the list because it doesn't look like this sorted it in order. Here's a big property that sold. This is a 1,400 square foot property that sold for $137. You would not want to choose that. Let's take a look at this one. This one is selling for $200,000. It's 1.5 miles away. In this town, Norristown, that's pretty far a distance because Norristown is more like a, even though it's suburbs, it's more of like a city suburb that has a lot of comps nearby. So you might not want to use these as comps. These right here would not be a good indication for really what the house would sell for. Let's go and solve for distance because we're not really able to pinpoint it through square footage. So let's see what some of the closer houses are selling for. All right, so the one that's zero point 0.6 away are selling for 165. It's two bedrooms though. Obviously ours would be more than that. If a two bedroom would sell for 165, our five bedroom certainly would sell for more. Let's pull this one in at, I think we have to pull this one in for the 1400 square foot one. We don't have to. Actually, let me pull that out. That's too far away. We've got another one. There's not a lot of really close ones. Okay, so we're going to have to go outside of the range a little bit. And this is where I'm talking about. You're going to have to use reasoning here and give me the best possible options. And this is how I'm showing you how to do it and how I look at it. So again, we want to pull, if we know that the one around it, closer to it, is selling at 165, it's smaller in square feet. Let's start looking for bigger properties that are higher in value. So we've got one right here. That's another two bedroom. We've got a three bedroom here for 180. Let's just pull this one in. We've got another one for 1,500 square feet, three bedrooms. That's 233. Let's see. Generally, I want you sticking to, at the very minimum, three comps. You can go as high as five or six as well, okay? Just to give an idea, 3 to 6 comps is what we need. Again, the square footage here is 1,800 on our subject property. This is only pulling in average square foot 1,300, but it's given us an estimated price just off these three of about 192 sales price. So again, we're looking at the estimate and the square footage. This is about roughly what we'd be able to sell this property for. Okay, about 192. You can see that the comps are near the property. If you wanted to see the closest one, you'd click on it. This one sold for 165. You could take a look at the street view. You could see that the houses are similar. It's a row house, row style house. This gives us an idea that probably our house would sell for this, about 165, 190-ish. Then you're going to go back. Let's take a look at the other houses, see if these are similar. 180. Yeah, again, these houses are a little bit newer. They are townhouses though. They are similar. So let's take a look at this last one. Behind it, you can zoom in to view it a little bit. It's this one, selling for 233. Let's see if this is the same type of house. These again are slightly newer. I probably would not use this comp. This is not a real good comp because it's a lot newer. So let's find another one. So look for square footage. Here's one right here. Let's see where that is on our map. Can't find it. Let me zoom in a little bit. Here it goes. It's behind it right there. 175. These are a little bit newer, but they're still older. These were in the other view. We can use this one too. Okay, so you take a look. Now you know that the value is adjusted at 173. So again, now that you see what the estimate is, you're going to go back up into your FreedomSoft, your saved lead area. You're going to see that they're selling this property for 85,000. Okay. So when we go back into our comps and we look at the offer chart, remember the rule of thumb is if it's anywhere between 70% or below. So 80,000, since it's selling for 85,000, you can see that we're right around the 50% mark. That means this is a good lead. You've qualified it. You've ascertained that it is at a good value and that is an investment property that we would like to take a look at. So now what you're going to do is, again, you do not save the property. You go back and you can close this out now. Press close up here. Go back into your instant lead, your save, and save the lead. You're simply going to save it now. Now, I just wanted to go through two of them. Now I'm going to show you what the next step is. And you want to do this at the end when you're done all of the leads in here. So now that it's saved, you're going to go back to list up here and you'd repeat this process. Now, so the first two have already been saved. You can see it, it says saved and saved. Then you would go on to the third. You're going to do this for every single lead. So all 31 leads that you find in the as is, you're going to do it to all of them, just like this. When you're done, and then when you're done, you're going to go and do the same thing with TLC. Properties in there, I believe, for TLC that we found when you were. You're going to search and then do the same thing with those 20. So that would be 51 leads, let's say, that you just got through. Now, when you're done doing that, I would not exit this area, the instant leads, until you are ready to get out of this. The reason being is you're going to have to do a whole new search every single time you leave this tab. It may make you lose your place. I don't know if it will take away the saved area or not. It may or may not. I'm not really sure. But once you're done going through these leads, I'm going to show you where it put them and how you're to status them now. Okay, so you've just qualified them, you've comped them out. You're going to go into the leads dashboard. You're going to go into seller leads. This is where you're used to working already. This is also the same inbox that you have been working on when those campaign leads come in. Now, take a look here. The inbox. The inbox has two leads in here that we just added. These are the two that we just worked on. And it looks like you were in here working these leads, but let's just look at the top two right now. Every time you come into the inbox, any of the leads you just saved will be in here. You need to take them out of here and move them directly into my Gabe PM deals folder. These are the PM stands for private money. These are the deals that I am working directly with our private money or private buyer. This is a project that we're working on, so anything that goes in here, we're filtering or we're sending directly to this buyer. So here's what you need to do. You need to put a check mark. I'm only going to check mark the top two because these are the ones that we're working on. But you can see that these leads, if there's other ones in this inbox, they're pretty identifiable, easily identifiable because you're going to see a contact name in here. You're going to see a number. You're going to see it's going to still say status new because I haven't done anything with it. But you'll also see a listing agent name and a listing agent phone number. And more importantly, you will see that there's no campaign name attached. Since I've turned these campaigns off for now, you should not see any more with campaign names after you have finished scrubbing these. But this is what you're going to do. You're going to put a check mark on both of them or all of them, however many there are. You're going to go to more, you're going to go to more. You're going to color code them all to green. Next, you can see that it just changed them to green. Next, you're going to group. You're going to check the group, Gabe PM deals mark. You're going to make sure no other box is selected. You're going to click apply. Then they still have a check mark in it. You're going to go to move to, and you're going to move them to Gabe PM deals. Again, this is my folder that you're moving and doing all the work from. You're going to click that. And just like that, you can see it removed them out of here and it just added two more into my PM deals folder. So when I go into it, into my folder, I can now see the two leads today on the 12th that we moved in there. I can see them right here. So this is where all of the leads will be. Now I know that once I look in here, I'm going to see, once I see these leads, I'll know that you have just gone through the processes and steps that you learned earlier on how to, in this module, on how to qualify and comp a lead. This is a pre-qualified lead for me now, and then all I have to do is work them from in here. You can see that I have different statuses. These are ones that I have been working on my own, and pretty much I got them in the same fashion that I'm going to have you putting them in here now. So that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm really excited to see how this, how this works for you and any feedback that you may have. So please take notes, take this very seriously, and I appreciate all of your hard work and for being, being here and learning this module. So I will talk with you soon, and have a great day. Thanks.